sun in the sky. I'm blaming you for the stars in the night. I'm blaming you for the love and the light. I'm blaming you cause of all my lies. I blame for my little sister and with her autism. She'll never feel the pressure of the devil and his wisdom. I blame you for the fact that I would never be his victim.
You were telling me that you find yourself being pretty fatigued by a number of things, including people's responses to the shooting. I think that's what you're referring to. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no, like definitely the response to the assassination has been incredibly disheartening.
And
Um,
the
Go
response
ahead.
in what way? Because it sounds, I think you might be referring to a different type of response when I'm thinking, because to me it seems like your response to my post specifically, and I'm sure you probably
Hmm.
responded to some others.
Oh yeah, no, like especially at first, I got quite heated. I cooled off a little bit. And I was like, I even posted something like early on and like deleted it immediately. I was like, okay, calm down a little bit. Like we can have a little bit of respect for the tragedy. Because it is that. Um, but yeah, no, I've definitely been kind of on fire about this one. I will repeat that I do not want to live in a world where with political violence.
Okay.
His assassination was wrong. It should not happen. It's awful. No one should no one should die like that. And it is my principles that no one should die for their beliefs, despite my feelings on his beliefs and politics and agenda. However, the sanitization and lionization that has been done for this man and the outpouring of support and grief for him is frankly kind of like appalling to me. Um, like this of all things, not school shootings, not children starving and being killed in Palestine, not like there's so many awful things going on, but like this is the thing that like is
Why?
getting everyone worked up,
Well,
and it's for this awful person who's dedicated his life to just vile hatred.
so Gwen, wouldn't you? By the way, everybody, Gwen and I are longtime friends. Gwen, and you let me know if this is fitting. How I'm gonna allow or help my audience to understand our
Yeah.
relationship, friendship, and who you are. Gwen is an ex-Christian. We used to actually be a part
Mhm.
of the same church. Ex-Christian, transgender. Would you be comfortable with me sharing
Yeah.
the vocational path that you're on right now, or the
Yeah.
okay
Um,
online sex worker?
mhm.
And we've remained friends through the years since you transitioned to living as Gwen,
Mhm.
and we have definitely had a good bit of conversations um, through the years when it comes to certain things that kind of happen and I've discussed online or vice versa.
Mhm.
So I want to, my goal for the conversation today is to give people a window into the discussion between people who differ really strongly,
Yeah.
um,
No. Yes.
but nonetheless, um, doing so without hatred, but in fact, at least I'll speak from my side, love. And
Mhm.
so I hope you can understand how I mean, I think this is a very valuable conversation, but I hope you can understand how what you just said, I'm not going to say is offensive, because I don't really do the whole "you offended me" type of thing. But what you just said, maybe you can understand. We clearly see Charlie Kirk completely differently. So
Oh
for
yeah, obviously. And that's part of what is so upsetting to me is that people aren't like, because either people that view him positively either agree with him or they don't care. And either way, that is incredibly disheartening for
well,
someone like me.
but could you see though that, and again, this is not me um feeling like a victim with how you feel or what you're saying, but just for the sake of us beginning the conversation here,
Yep,
can you
pop
can you
off.
see can you see how Charlie Kirk, being a man who I am 100% convinced is a man of God, champion for Christ, um, a very good man of character and integrity, with strong stances, being barbarically, savagely assassinated in broad
Hmm.
daylight. So, for your view is, yeah, nobody should really get shot and killed like that, but he was an awful, vile, almost like he deserved it in a way. Is
He didn't deserve it, but he certainly created the environment for it to happen and contributed to that.
okay. So, for my audience and my followers, I'm going to do my best to serve the all the persons watching this by virtue of
Hmm.
not being offended by anything that you're saying, but really engaging what you're saying. For one,
Yeah.
Charlie Kirk, and I say this in respect, out of respect for you, I'll preface what I'm about to say by saying I'm not intending to disrespect you in any way when I say
Hmm.
Charlie Kirk is presently in heaven. So we have lots to grieve and mourn, you know, with his family, his the trauma and the tragedy of what happened. But as far as he himself, he's in heaven. So I want to emphasize that. Obviously, you don't believe there's a heaven or God, so we know maybe we'll get
I
to
don't see
those.
any good reason to believe it, but
Okay, so maybe we'll talk about that at some point tonight. But
potentially.
okay, but you believe that he was a vile,
Oh yeah,
awful
absolutely.
person.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know so much that I want to say why and then to go back and forth about it, but I suppose maybe we should, I guess let's kind of move in that direction, because obviously um I would say the complete opposite, that he was
Yeah.
a very awesome man and champion who had strong positions that I agree with. I don't know that there are many positions that I don't agree with when it comes to Charlie Kirk.
Yeah,
Um,
which is incredibly disheartening to me. Like, frankly, like I'll be real with you. Like I'm here for this conversation. So, I'm willing to engage. I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Um, One of the main reasons I'm here is because I firmly believe that like, I mean, it's getting really bad in this country, and the divisiveness is awful. The hatred is rising. Like
Do you
this
hate
feels.
do you hate Charlie Kirk?
I want to give an honest answer to that. So I don't think, no, I don't hate him because I think for me to feel that kind of personal hatred to someone requires a bit more of a personal relationship. Like I do, I have complicated feelings on the word hate.
Okay.
I do, And I don't know the man,
Okay, so let
but
me.
everything that he has made his career off of, I do hate.
Okay, so do you mind me?
How's that?
I'd love to kind of just kind of engage it because you're saying you feel like hatred has been on the rise. But then
Hmm.
I said, but do you hate Charlie Kirk? And you took some time to kind of be nuanced in your response. But let me show you why I think Charlie Kirk is a great man. I say is obviously because I'm saying
No, I think that's certainly a great direction to go with this because like my first instinct when you said like I agree with him on everything, I wanted to push back on like citing certain examples, but I don't really, and there might be time for some of that with giving examples, but I don't know how productive that is because I firmly believe that no matter at the end of the day, everyone is still human and worthy of dignity and like respect. And being able to humanize each other and see everyone as human is the only way we're
when you
going to
say
improve
when
as a
you
country.
say I think I might have. I'm sorry. I think I lost you for a few moments. I think it got frozen. Run that last sentence or two back.
Um, I said, I firmly believe that humanizing each other and viewing each other as people is one of the only ways to improve this country, which I understand seems in contradiction to my claims about Charlie Kirk.
Well, yeah.
I don't believe they are, but
Well, it does seem to me to be pretty inconsistent because you said there's hatred is rising, and then I asked you, do you hate Charlie Kirk? And it took you some time to basically kind of say no, only because I don't know him personally or I don't like the word hatred, but I kind of do. But if you were to ask me, do I hate anybody? Matter of fact, would you just ask me that question for the sake of where we're at?
do you hate anybody?
Of course not.
Well, I guess let me ask you this. What do you mean by hatred?
What I mean by hatred is
Maybe to be defined terms.
okay, that's fine. I would say when I ask you, do you hate Charlie Kirk? And when I asked you to ask me if I hate anybody, what I'm saying is do you have vitriol or strong dislike towards him?
Oh, yeah, that for sure, but I don't consider that.
Okay, well, when you said hatred is rising, what did you mean? Because I asked that question because of what you said.
I mean, you could say that for vitriol, strong dislike. That's certainly an element of it, but it's also just like a complete opposition to someone else's humanity.
You feel that about him, or you saying you felt that way about him from him to other people, including yourself?
I feel that that was the kind of person he was to marginalized communities.
Okay, so let me kind of stand as a proxy for him. He's in heaven now. No disrespect to you when I say that, but that is true. He's in heaven now, but let me stand as a proxy because I would say I actually agree with him on most issues. I don't know
Hmm.
of any issues where I would differ, but maybe I do. I don't know. But why don't you kind of let's kind of engage some of the issues. That would be one of the things I would love to do in this conversation because as you and I discussed earlier on the phone, because we're friends, we've been friends for a long time. I think it's beneficial for people to be able to humanize one another, especially on the other side of
Yes, I
issues.
agree.
Yeah. So um, let me kind of stand in proxy for Charlie Kirk, who can't, at least right now, speak for himself from heaven.
Hmm.
So um, and I think this is valuable because I would say I think that persons like yourself, you believe that he stands for hating you, but in fact he doesn't,
Yeah,
because I don't hate you. Matter of fact, I love you. I actually say that all the time. I said it to
yeah, you do, but you also have you say love, and by love you mean I know what's better for your life because I believe I know exactly what life is and the truth of the word, because of God and the Bible and stuff like that. And therefore, all the things that you say about yourself are false. And actually, what would be best for you is this. And so, like, if you agree with him, then what you would want for my life is for me to, like, detransition and complete like my entire for me to do what you think would be best for me would be me completely changing my life in every single way instead of the life that I've chosen and I'm happy with.
Well, that's not
I don't
that's
consider
not
that love.
well, that's actually not what that's not what I mean when I say I love you.
Well,
And
do you
okay.
think I should detransition? Should I detransition?
Well, before I answer that, let me speak more fundamentally because to me, my love for you is not primarily about you behaving or doing or not doing anything. So first and foremost, I love you as a human who
So
God
not as an
treasures.
individual.
No, as an individual and a human. I love you. It's not primarily about I know what's best for you and that's how it is that I love you. Now obviously I do believe I'm using that word a little bit in air quotes. But yeah, I have strong thoughts about uh what God thinks. Whatever God thinks, that's I agree with
Hmm.
it, right? Okay. But what I'm saying is no, my love for you and my love for all people, including God's love for all people, including Charlie's love for all people, of which he presently loves you because he's alive in God's presence right now. He knows what's going on. But apart from that, the Christian's love, a real Christian, a real Christian's love is not about, it's not foundationally about you behaving a certain way or not. That's
No,
not
I
it.
understand grace versus works
No, it's
doctrine.
not. I don't mean grace versus works as far as how to ascertain or how to attain salvation. I'm saying just as a baseline,
Hmm.
you, every person is to be loved because they are a person. So regardless of if you
Hmm.
uh do what I think you should be doing or what God says you need to be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, you're still loved. So it's not about trying to change you. Well, I love you more if you don't.
Hmm.
That's not what it is. So I don't have to qualify, well, do I hate these people or how much do I hate or how do I
Hmm.
no, no, I don't hate anybody. I love everybody. And I mean everybody, including people, even the man who killed Charlie Kirk.
Hmm.
He's he's gonna be in some he's in some major trouble with God as well as the authorities. Whatever ends up happening, we'll see. But
I guess I
even
just
him,
feel like I guess I feel like love without action is meaningless and empty.
okay, I would kind of agree. I think I probably agree
Like you
with
can
you.
say all the words that you want,
Okay.
but like if you actually agree with everything that Charlie Kirk says about transgender people like me,
Okay.
then like yeah, that's not loving. It's just not.
What's not loving about what his position is? And let's talk about it.
Um, okay. Well, I mean, you can go straight up some of his more vile comments.
Sure,
For
let's do it.
instance, saying, because he really, they really jumped on the bandwagon, especially in like 2023 with the whole Riley Gaines,
Okay.
incredibly famous fifth place medalist swimmer. Um, Goodness gracious. Um, but yeah, he directly said in interviews like that we should deal with transgender people like we did in the 50s and 60s. And I understand that that doesn't sound on the face of it like crazy, but that's quite a threat.
What was he
Like,
saying there? What was he saying there?
what
As
do
far
you,
as you,
okay, yeah, like what would you hear if you say we should deal with them like we did in the 50s and 60s?
I'm not sure what he means by that. I'm not sure. So
But
you,
how do you think transgender people would treat it in the 50s and 60s? You just had to guess.
I would say I don't remember that being really a conversation in the culture. So it's probably
Mhm.
that in the 50s and 60s,
How
if
are
you,
gay people treated?
well, you said transgender. So if we're going to be nuanced about it, we need to do that,
Oh,
right?
yeah, but especially at the time, like they would have been considered almost.
Right. But there's a difference between LGB and then the T.
Oh,
The T is very different.
absolutely. No, I agree. I agree.
Okay. So,
Um,
so if you don't mind me asking, which question are you asking? And let's talk about it.
I mean, I think that the answer would be the same regardless, but
No, it wouldn't be the
uh,
same because there's a difference between two, let's just say men who
Mm-hmm.
want to be romantically, sexually involved, and that is their relationship apart from being, legally married. Okay, so let's say those are two men that are gay, they want to be gay, or or that's
Well,
the way they.
how about this? How about this? Answer this. How do you think the 50s and 60s treated gay men, and how do you think they would have treated trans people? Because I guarantee the answer it will probably be fairly
Well, again,
identical.
I can answer that, but again, I don't know what he meant or that he said that. I'll take your word for it, but I don't
He
know.
did say it.
Okay, but I don't know what he
Hmm.
meant by that. I don't know if he was speaking specifically with regards to men playing in women's sports, biological males. I can tell you right now, I'm a 41-year-old man,
Hmm.
but I don't know a single woman who could play a physical sport with me and win. I don't know a single, maybe tennis.
Oh, we could get so far off topic with that. I think.
Well, what I'm saying is, I don't know
Mhm.
if his point there had to do with sports, if it had to do with bathrooms. I'm not sure what the context or the real, locus of his point
Mhm.
was. But what I will say is this. Uh,
But like, isn't that like, don't you see how that's so frustrating to me? Is every single time I bring up these awful things that he said,
no, you said it was
everyone that's a
awful.
support.
I don't know what he meant. You could go and you could zoom into one of my sermons and hear clip out 30 seconds or 3 minutes or whatever. But if it's not enclosed in context, you wouldn't be able to
Okay,
understand what it means.
in referencing gay people, he quoted Leviticus and how they were stoned and saying that God's law is perfect, and with that being how
Okay,
we
I
should
don't
deal
I
with
don't
gay
know
people.
I don't know what he meant by that though, because if his
But
position, well, if
but
his
how we
if
should
his
deal with gay
was
people. He called transgender people a throbbing middle finger to God.
what do you think he meant by that? Well, I think I know
Okay,
what you think he meant. I
okay,
think I know what you think
okay.
he
No,
meant.
let me first. I understand what a biblical abomination means, but when you are giving that speech as a prominent figure to a huge group, that is stochastic terrorism. You can argue, oh, but theologically, this is what abomination means. That is not how the general populace takes it.
Okay, are you cool if I tell you what I think that means?
Sure.
Okay. What it means is, and I'm speaking now for myself, and I think this is probably what he was referring to, but this is what I think that means. It means God chose this body for me,
Hmm.
and I want to do otherwise. So F you.
Okay, so you would agree with Kirk that transgenderism is a throbbing middle finger to God.
I wouldn't put it that way. I
Why
wouldn't
not?
say,
If you agree with him, why won't you put it that way?
well, the only person I agree with fully is God, for one.
Hmm.
Everybody
Okay,
else
so
is
what part of
fallen.
that do you disagree with then?
I don't I don't know the context, but I don't know a context that would actually probably make that a good way to do it. Okay. So
Okay, yeah. Why is it not a good way to do it?
well,
Why is that?
I would say that on the surface, it sounds a bit crass. I don't know what his thinking was.
Hmm.
I'm a communicator. I preach and I go on the streets, talk with people, yada yada. I had an opportunity to go downtown Asheville this past
Hmm.
weekend. Had a great bit of ministry and engaging. But as I listened back to one awesome conversation, there was one thing that I said in the
Hmm.
conversation that I said, we can't post that. I'm not proud
Hmm.
of the way I said what I said. Now I know what I meant,
Hmm.
but the way it sounded, it just wasn't right. So I said,
Yeah,
hey,
absolutely. Like, you can say the wrong thing, but like, these weren't like you can go back through and find articles written about these things. He was asked about it. If for instance, if you misspoke like that and you were
mhm.
asked about it, would you double down or would you own up to and apologize? What should a man of God do since he was so godly?
Okay. Well, in this case, I can't speak for him in that particular situation and his heart, his intentions, yada yada. All right. But this is what I know. Charlie Kirk loved all people. Charlie Kirk wanted all people to be saved, to have a relationship with God through
And
Christ.
that's what love means to you is I want you to be saved because he absolutely did not love us.
Okay, I can understand where you're coming from, but I'm telling you, you're wrong. But let me speak for myself for a few minutes, because at the end of the day, as much as I love, revere, and appreciate Charlie Kirk, and no disrespect to you, because I can understand why you feel the way that you do. I want to say this though. I'm a follower of the Trinity, not Charlie Kirk. And
Yeah,
so,
of course.
okay, so I revere Charlie Kirk. I know he's in heaven. I'm looking forward to being able to be a part of that great cloud of witnesses when that time comes. And he's there, and that's that. But at the end of the day, I think, at least in this regard, let me be a champion for the Trinity, for Christ in this moment, and tell you this. I will say, and I don't want to apologize too heavy for Charlie Kirk, because again, I don't know the context and all that went into the statements that he made, when he made them, so on and so forth. I rock with Charlie. That's it. But that's not to any disrespect to you. But I will say this. I love you. I don't have to qualify that with really anything. I want what's best for you. I want you to walk with God and to flourish as a human. I want you to prosper as a human. I want you to find not only salvation as it pertains to when you die, which you will. I don't want you to die and go to hell. I want you to go to heaven. But the salvation that God wants for you and that I want for you is holistic. I want every part of you to flourish. Yes, I want you to be forgiven of your sins through Christ. It's the only way it happens. But I want you to prosper in every way. I want your children to be blessed. I want you to be financially prosperous. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be fulfilled as a human being. You matter. Your dreams matter. I do think that you're walking in a way that's deviated from God's intention for you relative to your sexual expression and your gender identity. But that doesn't mean that you're not infinitely valuable. You are. And I'll be the first to tell you, I think that for those who are conservatives, conservatives tend to be primarily focused on what is true, which is good, right? I would say those on the right.
Sorry. That's the conservatives are the most feelings over facts party I fucking know. I'm sorry. Continue.
It's okay. To me, the right puts a great emphasis on truth. The left puts a great emphasis on love. The truth is we need both. So I think that conservatives need to, and of course, I am quite conservative, although I'm kingdom. I'm not, it's not, to me, I'm not, it's not about being conservative or liberal. It's about being a follower of Jesus, right? So I'm not, my goal is not to make people Republicans, although I think people should, that's not even important to me right now. My goal is Jesus and people. Okay. So that being said, as a conservative, I think that we do need to lead with love more and to say, hey, truth is truth. You do have to lead with truth and logic, not feelings. But feelings
I agree. I agree on that on this topic. I agree 100%.
Look at that. Look, this is a
truth and logic. Absolutely.
Evangelical pastor. I graduated from Liberty University, and we're friends. Now think about that. Transgender ex-Christian online sex worker who is a friend with an evangelical pastor, and we can agree on that. So I would say, yeah, we need truth, and truth has to lead the way, but we have to lead with truth and love. I'm just saying we can't lead with feelings.
I agree.
Well, look at there. But check it out. Charlie Kirk and I are very similar, like virtually the same in this regard. I would just say in his focus on challenging ideas, he comes to the table ready to challenge ideas. He's not diminishing the value and the humanity of any person. He's just challenging ideas with strength. And it comes off like he doesn't care about people, but that would not be true.
But like, shouldn't a Christian view love as strength?
Yeah, he does. He would say.
But so why, when he comes off strong, is it come off across as unloving then?
Right. Well,
that doesn't make any sense to me. Square that circle, please.
Okay. I think one, you have
why are Christians so obsessed with unchristian strength?
Wait. When you say why are Christians, run that back for me again. Say that again.
I've watched I watched the church deteriorate. This entire MAGA movement is like a huge reason on what disillusioned me, this whole thing. I've watched y'all just give
Wait.
up
Don't
all your
whoa.
values.
Don't lump me in with the y'all. That wouldn't be right, would it? That wouldn't be right
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I
treat people
follow
as
everything you
categories.
say. Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
I
wait.
just have
You threw me in a category. Don't throw me in a category. Treat me as an individual.
I wish I was treated that way.
I'm
That'd be
treating you.
wonderful.
I'm treating you as an individual right now. You're Gwen. You're
Hmm.
my friend.
Okay.
So treat me as an
Um,
individual. Don't throw me in with the group because the group might not represent everything. So
okay,
talk
fair
to me.
enough.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay. What I mean is Christian strength is love and humility, right?
Christian strength is love and humility. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but I would definitely say
What's Christian strength? Like how
I
did
don't.
Jesus show strength?
Well, in a lot of ways,
Was Jesus strong?
love and truth, truth and love. He
Hmm.
was full of it. John, the prologue of the Gospel according to John, that
Yeah.
Jesus came full of grace and truth. It's both.
Hmm.
It's both.
Yeah,
Completely both.
absolutely.
Okay.
So, but yet I don't see that reflected like directly.
In
You directly said like Charlie Kirk is defending the truth and love with strength, and so it comes across as
okay.
how did you phrase that? As unloving or as crass
Str-
or like that seems like a contradiction to me. Like
okay.
if he is like how is to be strong to defend love and truth, you have to
Okay.
come across as unloving.
Okay.
That
Well,
doesn't make any sense.
okay, we do have to make a distinction though between coming off as, because you can um you know, I can interpret something different than the reality of what it is, right? So you could say to me, the beginning of our
Hard to
conversation,
misinterpret him calling transgender people an abomination to God, which
well,
he
transgender,
directly said that. He said that directly in that quote shortly after he quoted some Bible verses, again
okay,
from
but
Leviticus, and then said, then named Leah Thomas and said, Leah Thomas, you are an abomination to God
okay, if Leah Thomas,
publicly.
well, again, so follow my thinking here. We're talking as an individual. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Please explain to me how this is loving.
Okay. Well, one, whatever God feels, if God is God, he actually exists, which he does, and he's good, which he is,
Hmm.
then whatever God feels and whatever God says is right and loving and good. So if God says that, and not in an arbitrary way, but if out of God's will and
Hmm.
the way that he's done and made things and the way he calls us to do life, if he says living, let's just say an adulterous lifestyle is an
Hmm.
abomination, then it's an abomination. So the same is
Hmm.
true is if God says that a man having sex with a man is an
Hmm.
abomination, it's an abomination because God makes the rules. So if Charlie Kirk agreed with God, you can't say Charlie Kirk is, it's a shame for him to have said that. He's agreeing with God. All of us are
Okay,
people. We're
but
just
then
humans.
how do we coexist in a pluralistic society like
Okay.
that?
That is a powerful question. This is how I think we do it. I think that one, we we don't kill people who disagree with us. You agree with that?
I agree.
Okay. I think also we, like Charlie Kirk, we make space to come to the table and exchange ideas and debate ideas. He did that.
Oh, please.
He
He
did.
went to college campuses and clipped farm himself embarrassing 19-year-olds. That's how he made his living. He was offered to do debates with intellectual people all the time, and he dodged them every single time.
That wouldn't be true,
He
my friend. I've seen him do lots of debates with folks who are not college students, and I've seen him run circles around intellectuals. So
okay.
yeah. So
If
I
I'm
would
mistaken, I'm mistaken, but he definitely like when people talk about him bringing people to the table, what we're referring to is him going to college campuses, antagonizing 18-year-olds
No, I
that
would differ with you there strongly. I would say this to you, and I don't think Charlie Kirk ended up earning a degree. I don't think so.
no, I
But
don't believe so.
okay, but I'll tell you this, Charlie Kirk, that king, and I don't mean any disrespect given your feeling about him, but obviously I rock with him. He was a brilliant man, and
Oh
he
yeah, he was
ran
absolutely intelligent.
okay, he ran circles around intellectuals, including some of the greatest thinkers on the left, right? Not mere 18-year-olds, although there's some sharp 18-year-olds, but in college contexts, you have a lot of 18-year-olds that are there getting a degree and they think they're already qualified to speak definitively about everything that they're in the process of
Oh
learning,
yeah,
right?
absolutely. Like yeah,
Okay.
18, 19-year-olds are cringy and think they know everything.
Right.
Like I
So,
agree, yeah.
but his approach to being on college campuses, his approach was to basically engage. It used to be that the university was the place to come and to challenge and spar at the level
And
of
and
philosophy and
it's okay.
ideas.
Let me put it this way. I don't have an issue with him going to the campuses and doing that.
Okay.
I don't. You're right. Yeah, it's a place to spar. And frankly, I don't even really have an issue with him like clipping all that and putting on TikTok on big own the lib compilations.
Okay.
Because like, I mean, let's be real. It was an own the lib, like own the
Yeah.
libs was like how he got big.
Okay.
Like it was entertainment.
I will say this. I will say this definitely that I don't like that language personally. And
Okay, that's great, but that is how he made his. That's like a
okay,
major part of how he got
so
big.
so I can definitely grant that as an approach that I personally don't think is helpful. Now, here's why. I think I'm not gonna say it's not helpful at all, but I think we've like to your point, you said this to me. Yes, whenever we talked last, you said we've got to humanize one
Hmm.
another,
Oh yeah, it's all
especially
about
those on the
dehumanizing people. And
okay,
people, and my side's not innocent either. There's so many clips of people embarrassing
right,
conservatives. It's
right.
not,
Right. So I
but
do think that to
mhm.
your question, I don't mean to cut you off. You go ahead. You finish that thought.
So like again, I'll say I don't even necessarily have an issue with him doing it. I mean, because I mean, heck, I've watched those videos on my side. Absolutely, they can be enjoyable in a I don't think in a particularly like noble way,
Okay.
but yeah. Um, but I again, it comes down to how he is remembered and sanitized because that is his predominant legacy. Like, I would love to watch a full debate with him.
Okay.
I'll probably seek that out and see it. But I have never seen Charlie Kirk presented as a debater. Just the most he did was that Jubilee thing earlier this year,
Yeah.
and which is
We'll just look it up. I think there might be there more there than
yeah.
than you
And
think.
if I see it, I'll be happy, and I'll find it. I'll be happy to watch it. I love
Yeah.
watching debates.
Yeah. But
Um, and
yeah,
if I'm completely wrong, I will rescind that opinion. I'm happy to do so. I've done so in the past.
that's what's up.
Um,
That's humility there. That's good. So to
but
your
from what I see, his legacy is clip farming for entertainment of Own the Libs, and now he is being talked about as if he was a peacemaker bringing people to the table when that
I believe
is
he
simply
was.
not what his reputation was.
Right. Well, I
It,
can understand from your side of the conversation and
then
your
who was he possibly bringing to the table if no one that opposed him thinks of him that way? You're
well,
not a peacemaker then. You're not
I
bringing him
wouldn't
to the table. You're just having the family over for a barbecue.
I wouldn't agree with that because I actually saw something from him recently. He was saying, or that he had said apparently recently that he when he first started coming to college campuses, both the colleges and the students were very liberal.
Hmm.
He said, but recently, and in large part thanks to the work that he and those,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he
well, he said that
definitely.
he said the colleges liberal, but most of many more of the students not so much. So
Absolutely.
okay,
Yeah.
so he's coming to the table and he's engaging and sparring ideas, which you have to use really the online platform. That's why I have an online. I started a YouTube channel in order to
I
get
agree,
ideas.
but
Okay, and vice
I'm
versa.
sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I did interrupt you. You can finish your thought.
It's all right. I forgot what I was saying. We're talking. It's all right.
Damn it. Okay, whatever. Um, it's slipping. Give me a second. Um, yes, he did reach a lot of young people and got them to vote for Trump. Now, a lot of those Gen Z, mostly Gen Z men that voted for Trump, probably influenced by Charlie Kirk, Trump's approval from that exact same population has been tanking since he's taken office. So it's not, and he's still been in college campuses doing his thing. So whatever he was doing stopped working at some point once he actually took office.
Well,
But to me,
numbers and polls. I think the last
you
two
could argue that
elections.
every president, once they're in power, like are going to be
Yeah.
hard to
So
retain approval. There's an argument to be made for that.
yes, I appreciate the honesty there. Not to say that you haven't been honest the whole time, but well, for the last couple of minutes, because I probably want the video to be about an hour, no more, and we'll coordinate getting together again real soon. Let me say
Mhm.
this.
Yeah, there are a few
Uh,
like key points I would want to get to. I feel like
okay, let's talk about those few key points with our last little stretch of time here, and you tell us where you want us to go for the rest of our time.
well, I mean, I just want because I feel like I set up my feeling because I don't feel like I ever brought home why people lionizing and sanitizing Charlie Kirk upsets me so much. And
Okay,
I want to bring that home.
okay.
And even during our conversation, I brought up only two examples. I can keep bringing up examples of things that he said that and things that he stand for. Gosh, I didn't even talked about like his whole professor website that he started where like professors around the country are getting death threats from him directly spearheading a website to expose and then dox liberal professors. That's on his website. Um,
So
but
finish that thought. Pardon me.
yeah, we don't need to get into that specific point.
No, we can if you'd like.
No,
If
I
you'd
don't,
like.
because I want to get to the main point, which is
Okay.
there are so many things about him that, and this isn't the first conversation I've had. I will point out these things to people, and people are like, "Oh, well, I can't comment. I don't know what he meant by that." Do you know how frustrating that is to have someone like y'all didn't know Charlie this way because Charlie didn't hate you. I knew Charlie this way because he hated me.
You believe
And
that Charlie hated you,
oh my God, yes, absolutely.
and
Absolutely, I believe that.
give me maybe a concise, eh, expound on that a little bit so that I understand from your vantage point why you think
Well,
I'm
I,
100% sure he didn't hate you for one, because if he hated
mhm,
you, he Jesus said, how can you hate your brother who you can see, but love your father in heaven who you can't see? So you can't actually be
mhm.
a genuine follower of Jesus and hate people. Yet Charlie was a genuine follower of Jesus, and he's there now.
We don't know that. He said a lot of words, but neither of us knew him.
Well, I've seen
I'm not
enough.
saying he wasn't, but like,
No, I can assure you, I've seen enough of his content. Just like I'm a scholar. I read. I follow thinkers and contributors. I mean, like yourself,
I
you've
will
done
give
this
him
too.
this. I'll say this one positive thing about him.
Okay.
There's a lot of right-wing influencers that I have strong negative feelings for, most of which I would say are complete grifters. They don't actually believe what they're saying. I
You
think that they just follow whatever is going to make them money and
okay?
whatever is going to drive engagement. I do think that Charlie Kirk believed what he spouted. I think it was awful. In some ways, maybe that's worse. Maybe it's better. I don't know. But I do think he believed the words that he said,
well, I can tell
which I
you.
can't say for everyone.
Well, I can tell you what he believed was the word. I can tell you that. And like I said, I'm a student of, pardon me, life and many great thinkers. So I spend a lot of time reading
Mhm.
people and what they've contributed and what they've
Mhm.
left for us. And you spend enough time following people and you see the thread of consistency in their content, you begin to see what they're about. And I've seen hundreds of hours of Charlie Kirk's content, and I can assure you, he believes this. He knows this is true now more than he ever did.
Yeah, and
And
I guess like I guess to bring that point home, like that's why it's so frustrating that I'll bring up this stuff, whether it's like this stuff, his comments he's made about black airline pilots or Martin Luther King or the Civil Rights Act or like,
you're misinterpreting his points. Just think about this for a second, Gwen. I'm a black
you almost think I'm
American. I don't
okay.
think you're stupid. I don't think you're stupid. I think you're very intelligent. So we're seeing these things different. That's all right. That's why we're here. That's why we're talking. We're gonna
Mhm.
have lots more of these, right? Both of our channels gonna blow up. By the way, if you're watching this, subscribe. Okay. Are you gonna post this on your channel also?
Maybe.
Okay. So check this out. Subscribe to Gwen. What's your YouTube channel, by the way?
It's like as told by Violet. I haven't
You've been
I don't
changing
really
the
keep up with
names. Okay, I understand.
well yeah. I go by a different name with all my other stuff.
Okay,
Um
no problem. No problem.
which like,
We'll
that's like
put
a
it.
whole other conversation. Um I do
We'll
want
put
to
it
bring this
in. Go
yeah,
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
do really want to try to bring this point home.
All right.
And we're both just talkers, so we and I worry that without bringing this home and why this is hurtful to me,
Okay.
especially not till the end, that people won't hear me well. And that's
Okay.
I want people to hear me, which
Okay.
is even if I've misinterpreted Charlie Kirk, this is how I don't know a single transgender individual that doesn't feel like he had the utmost contempt for us.
Okay.
Um, and so this is a scary time in this country for me, especially let's also like the week after the shooting with the trans woman, where even in your very own post about it, I read comments of people talking about all trans people being mentally ill, and that's why it happened.
Wait. I made a post about
Where there
a
are
trans woman getting shot. I didn't make
no,
a.
where no, that she was the shooter, the school shooting
Oh,
at the church. Yeah,
okay. So, okay.
Robin Westman. Yeah,
Keep finish your thoughts there for now, so I don't cut you off.
that's
And then,
terrifying to me because like you said, you won't be seen as an individual, but especially in the wake of that, I mean,
okay,
the DOJ is talking about removing my Second Right amendments.
your Second
Right
Amendment
amendment rights.
rights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Have you not seen that? That's what's so frustrating is I
Wait, what? How could your Second Amendment rights be removed if you're an American?
because they're
1776.
claiming that we're mentally ill and not fit to have firearms.
Okay, so let's engage. There's some stuff here, and first I want you to know
Okay, we can dig into it, but my point is the fact that none of you guys know about this stuff or see it. Like this is why I'm so terrified to live in this country because I'm informed to this. I see it. I'm not overreacting. Y'all
Well,
just don't. No, please let me finish. Please let me finish.
okay,
I don't think y'all care. It is the apathy that is going to kill us.
mm,
It's the fact that y'all don't know any of these talking points. You don't know these things. Like you're not prepared to even argue about them because I have to introduce you to these topics. That's so frustrating. This is my livelihood. And
okay.
the only
So
place I can, please let me finish. The only place I can get into a conversation with someone about this is as far as we can go is I don't know about that. This is what they might have meant, but I can't speak to that. Yeah, I have incredible concerns for my safety and the future of this country, and no one can speak to that because they don't know shit about it.
okay, so
That
let
is
me.
so frustrating. And all I'm seeing is people glorify this man And they don't care the things that he's, even if even if you're right that he loved me, no one in my community feels that way. And sinners that Jesus was with, like prostitutes and all that kind of stuff, they knew Jesus loved them. So
Now
that's an
let's
utter failure on Charlie Kirk's part for his
okay,
treatment of our community.
okay,
Because
that's
if
a
he actually loved us, we should know that.
okay. That I grant you that. Um, I would have to agree with you on
And I
what
feel
you
that way
just
about the
said.
entire church. Y'all
Okay,
are failing in like having us feel loved in any way.
okay,
Completely failing.
okay. I can't grant you that part, but be, I can't grant you that part. But let me kind of engage the pieces
Okay, yeah,
first.
we can pick that apart. I think that
Okay,
was
okay. So first, let me acknowledge what you just said and the sincerity of your soul from which you just said what you said. And I want you to know I heard you. And I want you to know how you feel matters. I'm not saying
mhm,
that about how anybody feels is necessarily factual or right, but how you feel does matter because you matter.
mhm,
And I know it is extremely hurtful when a person operates in a kind of way that it feels like they don't even care about your humanity.
mhm.
I've been treated like that
Yeah.
in a couple different ways, and I want to just acknowledge what you're saying for yourself and for persons who identify as transgender.
Mhm.
You make a powerful point about the need for Christ followers and the church, and we could go further and say conservatives, of which I am, that we have in many ways not allowed or caused people, not that we can control people's feelings because people can misinterpret us, but Jesus,
Yeah.
you are right about Jesus. People who were sinners,
Mhm.
they did know that he loved them. And
Yeah.
that is that is absolutely fair. I hope that you can see that the reason I value our friendship and being able to have a conversation in a space like this. I mean, this is not costing me anything, but I assure you that you matter.
And I hear you, but like it is hard to believe you like when like I said in your post about Robin Westman, like I had critiques on it. I saw some truly awful like people directly saying mental illness and
Okay,
all this kind of stuff.
so
No, let me
listen.
finish. And you might say there's any nuance or something like that, but like by your own acknowledgement, all that stuff, like even if like you know what they might mean, the message does not
Well,
come across as loving at all. And I
well,
have
let's think.
never once
Well, let's
seen
engage it.
had a single Christian defend me in any
Okay.
of those circumstances.
Well,
Not one time.
let's engage it because I'm not sure I agree with you on some things here, but let's engage it. For one, I want to go back to a few minutes ago of what you said. I do want to say, notice you're saying that um you know, this transgender woman who shot up the school.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
awful.
Okay. She didn't get killed. The transgender person,
Hmm.
I don't mean disrespect to my God in heaven by calling her she. I don't, that's a conversation we can have as well.
It is a complicated thing
Okay.
because
But
they
the
we don't
transgender
it doesn't
woman,
matter. Yeah.
the trend and I hope that didn't come off as disrespect because I'm not trying to disrespect you or my God, but the transgender
She did not
person.
make it easy for people that aren't in the know to understand. Like
Okay, so but the
she had
transgender
complicated feelings herself.
shooter killed people. Like you're
Absolutely. Yeah. It was
okay.
awful. That
Okay.
was terrible.
Okay. So
Evil.
she murdered people.
Yeah.
Okay. Then Charlie Kirk got murdered.
Yeah.
Okay. So for differing, he's saying come to the table and let's differ. You guys are saying, yeah, but he's spitting vitriol and that's going to put our lives in
Do you
danger.
know what he
He
was
got his
talking
life
about when he got shot,
taken.
though? Yeah, but you know what he was talking about when he got shot?
It doesn't matter. Or
It does, though. It's actually
okay,
quite pertinent.
okay. Tell me what he said. Maybe it does. Pardon me. I might have misspoken.
Literally, literally.
I mean, he got
Mm,
his life taken. I mean, what?
I know it's awful. I agree. It's awful.
Okay.
Literally, he was in the process of being questioned. Like, they were talking about gun safety and gun regulation and gun deaths. Um, and he was talking about the epidemic of transgender violence. And someone was pushing back on him. He said, how many transgender shooters have there been in the last 10 years? He said, wait, far too many, far too many. That was followed up by, there's been five. Do you know how many? And then he said, do you know how many shootings in general there's been in the last 10 years? Leading to the point of the incredible small percentage that transgender violence is actually being pushed. To try to point out that his math, that in his dying moments, he was spreading the misinformation that transgender women are inherently violent.
Okay.
That is
Let's
literally
see.
what he was doing with his dying breath. And like his response to being asked about, do you know how many other deaths there were? He said, oh, well, are we including gang violence, like trying to diffuse? And then he was shot and killed. And I'm not saying that's good, but literally,
It's not just not
he
good.
was
It's
attacking my
it's evil.
community as he was dying.
Okay. Let's engage that. And it wasn't just that it was not good. It was shamefully evil. And I do want to
Yeah,
just add a
I'll give you
commentary
that.
to it. It's probably such that the person who killed him, God is probably going to harden that person's heart so they remain in their hardness, so that they're going
I
to die and
just,
go to hell. That's
yeah, I mean,
that's
I mean,
yeah. So
yeah, not a good person.
okay,
Bad
God's gonna
person. I agree.
the justice, the divine justice that's coming for that person is going to be unbelievable, and they'll find out soon enough that there's a God. But that being true, so let me so I'm not being the nice guy here, but being a good man, and we can engage the ideas
Mhm.
here. Let's talk about the maybe briefly, 'cause we're right at an hour, but would you agree that if I have a male body, and if you're okay with it, I'd like to just kind of talk pretty direct about the
Yeah, go ahead.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can
So
talk about
prior
that.
okay, prior to you transitioning, you had, in the context of family and marriage and all that,
Hmm.
you were blessed to procreate two children.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. And now having transitioned and living as Gwen, who God loves, who I love,
Hmm.
would you not say that it's reasonable for a person to say, if I have a body that can produce sperm and fulfill the male side of the human procreation equation,
Hmm.
but my mind feels like I'm on the other side of the human procreation, that something's off? Would that not be a fair, at least a question for an onlooker?
Yeah. No, I would agree. I think that um, is certainly not typical. Um, and I want to be careful with my language here.
It's okay. Take your time.
Um, yeah, I mean, it is a mismatch between brain and body. Like, there's not really another way to put that. So, um,
Okay.
yeah, I
So,
mean, I would
oh,
say in normal development,
okay.
something, you know, I don't like to use like didn't go the way it should, because that puts like a value sense on it.
Okay.
Um, but I would say like development didn't progress typically
Okay, so
in that case.
that's what I, because I am one who respectfully
Hmm.
would say that a person who has what you described as a mismatch, that is an expression of a mental deviation. Now we can
You
word
can
it.
say deviation, but let's be clear, the wide medical community, and like I can be nuanced about this.
Okay.
The DSM-5 um, describes they separate. So gender dysphoria is listed as a mental disorder.
Okay.
Gender dysphoria being the distress that one feels or can feel from experiencing gender incongruence.
Okay.
It does not, and gender dysphoria does not only apply to trans people. Cis men with hypergynecomastia, I believe is the term, also experience gender dysphoria because they're a man and they've all seen grown boobs.
Okay.
Like that's gender dysphoria. We treat it in cis people all the time.
Okay.
That is a mental disorder. It's distress. It gets in the way of your life.
Right, but
Gender
that.
incongruence is
Mhm.
not considered to be a mental disorder in any way whatsoever by the medical community.
Okay, so what I would say, and what my view on that is that the mental health community, they're not altogether objective. That there is cultural and socio-political um, dynamics that play a role in how they do their practice, how they do
Yeah,
their medicine.
but this has been discussed and studied for over 100 years now.
Well, I don't know the particulars and the timelines and those kind of things, but here is what this is what I know, and I say that respectfully. This world is beautiful, but it's broken,
Hmm.
and it's what the writers of scripture rightly call fallen. And because it's fallen, we have a lot of different expressions of this, of the fallenness of this phenomenal world. Of course, it's
Hmm.
pointing forward to Jesus himself coming back and restoring all things, the same way that his body, when he was crucified, his body came out of the grave, restored, resurrected. That's what's happening for the whole universe. It's going to happen. But until then, we have all kinds of expressions of fallenness. So when a person,
Oh yeah, no, I can understand it from the Christian point of view.
okay,
It just
so
like I understand from the Christian point of view.
okay,
Um, Unfortunately, the Christian point of view is so confident that they're right that it informs your entire belief on the subject. It informs the way you interpret the evidence and the feelings and everything. And because like you start with the conclusion that it's in like you're starting with the conclusion and then fitting all the evidence into it.
okay,
And like we don't even have to get into whether or not trans people are who they say they are. What we do know after many years of study is that the best way to relieve and treat gender dysphoria is gender affirming care. We've tried everything else. We've had a
but
long history of
my
doing it
friend,
every other way. No, please let me finish.
pardon
Is
me, yep,
if we can see that the evidence shows that this gets the best results, that's what we should do. But because Christians start with the end in mind of saying, oh, but it has to be wrong, therefore they always move the goalpost. They always kick the can down the road. They always do that. It doesn't matter what the evidence is.
okay,
Be-
let's do this right here.
and you can't, I can't even argue with you because you're so convinced that you're right.
Okay,
It makes it very hard to imagine how we live in a society together.
let's do this right here. Um, because I want to close for the sake of the length of our video today, of our
You can always cut it
conversation.
in half if you need to.
That's true, but I want to save some great stuff for our next one. So let's do this right here. Let's have some closing thoughts. How about I give you the last word, and so I'll first say just some
Okay,
closing
yeah, by all
thoughts,
means,
and
yeah.
then you give your closing thoughts, and that'll be it for tonight. And we'll coordinate getting together again. There'll be many more of these. Actually, there'll be many more of these with yourself as well as others who see some things very differently than myself. But my hope is this will start my closing thoughts. My hope is that my channel could, among other things, serve as a platform for conversations like these to happen, where somebody like myself, who is a follower of Jesus, can engage with those who are not, and we can have really important discussions about the things that matter. And I feel like we've been able to do that tonight. I want to tell you, you're important, and your feelings genuinely matter to me. I'm going to think about what you shared, and I am glad that we're friends. And your holistic human flourishing is very important to me. And it's even more important to God.
I appreciate that. Thank you for listening to me. I do appreciate that. It is encouraging, and I hope people that actually listen to this too. And I'm not saying that any of the people that follow and like are more aligned with you need to agree with me, but I wish that they would listen because I don't feel listened to at all. You know, I've been talking for a while on the platform, and I feel constantly dismissed, constantly for having life. Like, even if you guys don't think my concerns are valid or reasonable, I'm a person that's terrified when I look at the news and when I look outside the world. It scares the shit out of me. And that should matter. And I think it's awfully convenient for Christians to be able to always have a scripture to write off anything, to be able to say, oh, well, Jesus said the world would hate us. So they hate us. They hate Charlie. That Jesus said that would happen, and not have to hold yourself accountable for why that might be. To be so confident that you're right on how other people should live their lives that you won't listen to them, that you won't consider their opinion, that you go straight for God hardened their heart, or they care more about they just care about their sin. They love sin. They care about the lust in their heart. They like it's why I can't help but laugh whenever a Christian says they love me. Because love is listening. At the very least, you don't have to agree with me, but it's at least listening. And I don't know. I will say this. Thank you for listening to me.